Hey, saw you from across the room. Thought you might like to do a little multiplayer. Do you, nerd? That is not how I pick up games since the restraining order. But I do like to pick up games from game shops, and that does include GameStop. I know how a lot of people feel about GameStop, and I get it. Terrible business practices, but keep in mind, they are run by people, and it always pays to get to know those people and have a good rapport with them. Plus, it always helps to go in there when they're having a sale. There's a lot of great stuff. For instance, they were having a 4 games for $10 sale. I managed to pick up XCOM for PS3. Great alien game. I've heard a lot of good things about them. I haven't got to play it yet, but I mean, this is the perfect time to pick it up when it's so cheap, because it doesn't matter if it's terrible. I also got God of War 3 for the PS3. I have got to play through this. Surprisingly, we did not have it in our collection. The nice thing about having a game list with you, and there are some great apps out there, is that you can always quickly check and see what games you still need for your collection. Sometimes you may play a game and forget that you don't actually own it. I picked up Dishonored. It's the disc only, but that's all right. The sequel has just come out or coming out very soon, and I thought this would be a great time to get familiar with the first game. Another thing that I've heard, or another game that I've heard a lot of good things about. So I'm looking forward to that. And for my wife, since she's a fan of the show, I got Falling Skies. Now, since this was one of those games that was part of the bundle deal for really cheap, it doesn't matter if it's terrible or not. It probably will be. We know how TV and movie games are, but that's okay because she's probably never going to play it anyway. The other thing that I like to do is go to mom and pop stores. There's a great one in Nixa, Missouri. It's called Game World, and I've really been loving going in there because there's so much great retro goodness in there. They're really nice. They have a lot of stuff that you just don't see anyplace else. For instance, they have some 3DO games, and they come in these nice big boxes. There are some that just come in the regular jewel case, but the funny thing about these ginormous boxes is the fact that inside you just have discs. They're just CDs. There's no reason for the boxes to be this big, except to sell on the store shelves, I guess. But speaking of shelves, these are a nightmare to try to put on our shelves. But it's always great going in there and finding these because you never see them, and it's just a lot of fun to show people that you have these. Something my wife picked up while we were there was actually Star Wars Battlefront Deluxe Edition. The funny thing is, she picked this up because she wants to do the VR thing. She's totally obsessed with VR right now, which I've heard mixed reviews on this, but hey, if she's getting some more VR time in, great. I picked up a Popeye game. Initially, I thought this was a game that I had the box to, but the funny thing is, this is the Intellivision box. So Atari and Intellivision, after all these years, they're still not getting along. Awkward. And finally, I was super happy to pick this up. I finally got BanjoKazooie. You know, like Brent the Floss. BanjoKazooie, BanjoKazooie. I'm a bear, got a bird in a backpack. It's the song. You've heard it, the song. One of the reasons why I got it was because I did already have the box. So I got the cartridge for a great price, already had the box, and I can put them together and they can be a happy family again. Something that a lot of collectors don't seem to do a lot is buy stuff separate like this. It's, to me, okay to pick up the cartridge, pick up the instruction manual, maybe come across a box. A lot of times people will sell the box for just a few bucks, but once you get the cartridge and the box, it's worth a lot more. That's if you're into selling it. Anyway, how do you nerd? What do you like to do to pick up games? Do you do the Amazon route? Do you check out any mom and pop stores? Are you totally Craigslist, avoiding all the killers and everything? But tell me, what did you pick up lately?